Yo,
Yo, what's good, my boy?
how you doing?
Good. Another Sunday, another day to get better.
I like that shirt, man. It's like
Yeah, gotta
fitting,
win the race.
fitting perfectly in the screen.
Hey, man, you know,
Win,
game, shot.
win the race. Somebody is counting on you. All right, let's get straight to it because these joints getting longer and longer. So I'm trying to get straight to the bread. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So first, let's bring in Mr. G. How you
Yep,
living, G?
Yo, what's good with y'all?
what's good, my boy?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, perfect. Chilling, man. Like you said, another day to get better. So I'm excited to take a look at some of the stuff we learned over the last week.
Yes, sir. Then we got Pizzle. What's good, Pizzle?
Going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Yeah,
Good. How are you?
Not bad, man. Ready for another weekend, another day to get another 20%. So it's coming.
there you go.
I see we got that snow coming too. You gonna
Oh
put
yeah,
that board to work?
I didn't even know that.
It's coming.
Look,
Oh,
you just made me grab my phone, bro.
you gotta check it out then.
Hey, ever since I lived in Michigan, bro, every time I hear snow, bro, I'm scarred, yo. Like I'm scarred, dog. I hate
We
it.
ain't got that Michigan snow.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Yeah,
Good
it's
look.
on Wednesday, 80% chance.
Yeah,
No.
we'll be all right. I mean, that just means more opportunities for some calls on these energy stocks. So
See, man.
Okay.
that's it. That's it.
So Devin, you in here twice, so I hope I'm gonna click the. All right, there you go. That's the right one. What's good, Dev?
What up, everybody?
You
Yeah.
got you have internet trouble today?
Man, I must be like my my bills need paid, but we hopefully sort of hey,
And you going in and out too. So
Yeah.
whatever system you had last week was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might want to use those headphones.
let
Yeah,
me
trying to be fancy.
Mm-hmm.
We bring Kels in whenever Kels back. Let's jump right into it. There we go. All right, so a lot of this beginning part is the same, um, but still relevant. So first, of course, please make sure you follow us. Our mission is to serve. Like somebody said something yesterday that I didn't think of really before. He says, "Yo, y'all giving out gems for free, but y'all
Mm-hmm.
do everybody charge for it. Y'all just giving it out. So don't just follow us. Please share it because the mission is to get the word out to as many people as possible. So like, comment, follow, share, please.
And we appreciate you when you do it too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course. Learn with us, Game 7 Academy. That's our tutoring and mentorship program. Especially if you're watching this every week, this ain't gonna be enough. You know, it's a very intentional process you'll have to go through to really pick these things up. And one of those avenues could be Game 7 Academy. Also, as I was highlighting Kendall's shirt, shop with us, game7shop.com. T-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, jackets, um,
Hat,
mags, everything else on there too.
socks.
So game7shop.com.
Get your merch.
And right now, this program really buzzing. Goal Line program. It's our physical and mental development program. Uh, Primarily geared towards student athletes, but your whole life you should be a student athlete. So it's open to everybody. All right, let's get to the break.
Excuse me.
All right, so tips for beginners. So this week, for whatever reason, I had multiple interactions with beginners, and now, like after being around, it's like I don't feel like I'm a beginner no more. But when we like this part, do it. Like if you've done this, literally, I think depending on the timing, with every stock that we've mentioned so far, or the ones that we said we will play, you would have hit on all of them. And don't think you can read a book or watch a YouTube series or watch us and think that you'll get it. Like you have to spend time doing these things. And even before we got to the point where we were intentional and took a course, we had already been trading for months. So it's important to get yourself involved so you personally know how it goes. You know, it's like we've all done some kind of athletic thing or teamwork based thing in our lives. Practicing and all that is totally different than when it's game time. And you really learn when it's game time. So when it comes down to these beginner tips using Webull and the paper trading, get in the game. And don't be scared to lose because it ain't your money. Like it's fake money in the real market. So while you're learning, you can be learning what it's really like to play the game too. So first step is get in the game. Download Webull, and then you want to pick some stocks and play them. 99% of what we talk about are options. So for options, a call, you want the price to go up. For a put, you want the price to go down. So if for your paper trading, if you do a call, you want your number to be green. However, if you do a put, a bet that the stock is going down, you want your number to be red. All right, we'll get in there and do some paper trading. Secondly, like I said, make some plays. Find a stock. We reviewed it the past 3 weeks, different ways how you could do it and make your move. And once again, don't be afraid to be wrong because it's not your money. You know, they give you I don't want to say free because it's not real, but they give you $1 million to play in the real market. Like you can't take your profits because it's not your money, but you get to play in the real market. And step 3, as I'm emphasizing, you gotta learn. Like you gotta learn. Like I met multiple people who were talking about they were going to invest in something and don't know nothing about investing. Like they just gonna give their money to somebody else and let them invest it. And that person can have the best heart in the world, but they might mess it up. You can know everything about stocks and all that, and it just might go the wrong way. And I don't think it's smart to invest money when you don't know what you're doing. Like I would say, take that same quantity of money and invest in the learning process, because in a couple of minutes you make all that money right back. You feel me? Depending on how much it costs, but while you're investing in the market, that'll be your return on your investment in your education. The watch list information that we went over last week. So these are the ETFs. My mom asked me about ETFs. These are the big ETFs. S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and the Russell 2000. To get like a pulse of the market, these are the ones that you check. We went through it a lot more carefully last week. So you can go to last week's podcast and you can hear us talk about those. But those are the ETFs. Then after you check out the ETFs, you should check out the sectors. Like sectors are like a company in a specific area, in a specific area, like financial companies, energy companies, industrial companies, healthcare companies. You want to check those too, because the market could be down, but healthcare could be up. So you know that as you're looking through the stocks that day, you mostly want to look for stocks that are going down, but healthcare stocks are going up. So just to give you a pulse of the market, so you're not going in blind. And lastly, as I said, find stocks according to the trends. So if the ETFs are going down, most stocks are probably going to be going down. Or if certain sectors are going up, most stocks under that sector are going to be up. So use those trends to dictate how you look at the stock and what direction you think that is going to go in.
Mo, another good call out on that is you can get calls and puts on those ETFs.
Yeah.
So whether it's SPY or one of the, excuse me, the sector ETFs you mentioned, you can get calls and puts on those. So if you see a trend across the entire sector of technology or healthcare, you can get in on that at that level as opposed to trying to find a specific company that's going to move in that direction.
And those who are watching, like, leave comments because we'll just go. Like, I'm not really going to spend that much time no more in the beginning part, but we're more than willing to answer as many questions as you may have. So make sure you leave comments because only you know what's frustrating you right now. And the only way we can help you is if you leave some comments and let us know what you need to know. So for this week, as I've been saying, it's like, yeah, you got to play the game. You got to get in there. And once again, I'm emphasize you can do it for free. Paper trading and see what happens. As you get a book, as you do your YouTube, you take your course or whatever way you're going to go about it, make some plays. Now, you don't want to wait till you got the money and then really start learning. Then the money you got is gone because you lost it making some bad plays. And just like last week, spend some time with the charts and set alerts. Like something for me, y'all can share what y'all think. But probably, and this may be obvious, but it hit a light for me. The most important part of this, for real, is your entry point. And you gotta scan and scan and scan unless you can get some kind of screener that does it for you. But you gotta go through enough stocks to get comfortable with reading the charts, and you have to know when to enter. But you may scan a stock and be like, yo, this joint look good. But it may hit that support or resistance for 10 days straight. But if it goes $1 this way or $1 that way, it's going to run, right? So you want to continue to spend time with those charts and set the alerts because then the moves just come to your phone. Like on my phone, on my computer, 9:31, I'm getting boom, 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 boom. So I know exactly what stocks to check out and see what they're doing. But that comes from spending time with them and setting up my entry. Anything y'all want to add to that?
I was going to say, setting those alerts and really reading the charts. It's kind of like preseason. It's like right before the season starts, you're in your playbook, you're figuring out the plays so that when you're in the game and your coach calls a play, we might not run that play every week, but when it comes up, you're ready to go. So you take that time before the market opens, like you said, and you chart these, you look at the charts, you start to find patterns, and all of that just makes your life easier during the market open period. Like you said, this week I really did a deep dive on setting alerts, and I made a couple of dollars just off of an alert coming in. I had already did the research, so I already knew what I needed to do. I went in, either got that call or got that put, and it didn't take more than 2 minutes because I had did that pre-work. One big thing, a tip for me for setting alerts, and this is something we learned in our course, but almost every chart I looked at this week had that W pattern or that M pattern. So now I'm setting alerts right where that W is either created or that M is created, and I'll put a little note, M pattern or W pattern. So when I see that, I'm jumping in right now, or I'm just about ready to jump in, depending on where it is. So in addition to the alerts, drop yourself a little note, because you might be looking at 50 or 100 different stocks, and it's hard to remember what you saw in a specific chart. But if you just put a little note in there, it gets you right back to where you were when you were looking at it.
And
Also, the reason, my bad.
You go ahead.
Also, the reason why setting alerts are so important, especially for us, because during the day, like, we still have our 9 to 5, our normal jobs, right? So that's what we messed up in the beginning when we were just watching YouTube and just looking at things and kind of going in blindly. We didn't have enough time to be trying to check all the time. So that's why a lot of us took some L's, right? Because we didn't have When you're just day trading, obviously we talk about options now, right? Because we don't have that time to put in day trading. But when you set alerts and things like that, you don't have to constantly be checking your phone all the time. You just check that thing when you get the alert, especially with an option, because an option is with time. So you don't have to be worrying about checking on your phone or all the time over, because that in the beginning when we first started back, when the pandemic hit, like that was very overwhelming for me, like trying to teach online, and then like going on mute, having my phone underneath my like hand underneath my on my lap underneath my computer trying to check. So when you set alerts, like it kind of just makes it way more easier, because you are notified when you need to look at it versus, okay, what is it doing now? What is it doing now? What is it doing now? And to me, it's just a little easier doing that and knowing that you have someone else, like an automated system, doing that a lot of the brute force for you.
Go ahead, Pizzle. Good. All right.
Oh.
So yeah, alerts are very, very important. And mine will be intentional about talking about entry and exits when we're looking at the charts. All right, so what plays turned out good last week? Let me write these down. We got the Space Jump, GPS, McDonald's, whatever that is, NIO. We got AWK, C. I didn't mean to put that on there twice. DLTR. All right.
And COG.
POP?
COG.
COG.
Cat.
Okay.
Yeah. COG.
COG. What else? Anything else?
No, that was the only one I wanted.
All right.
We could throw Walmart on there.
Walmart. All right.
Yeah, I think it's WMT.
Cool. All right. So let me take this off. All right. So first, Space Jam. So with this joint, I remember I saw it first on Benzinga, but for some reason, I decided not to play it. It was something I ain't like, but I know G and Devin played it, so y'all can talk about this joint.
I can start, and Dev, I know you probably got more info, so I'll keep mine short. But Space, and I mentioned it last week too, got a lot of popularity on Reddit. So usually when you have that, there's a good amount of time, whether the information is legit or not, that you can make some money. It's just very volatile, and I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you always follow the trendy stock on Reddit. But this one was a good play, and there was actually like some meat behind the hype. So Dev mentioned it last week, but the news was a launch that this company was planning for Friday or Saturday. So yesterday or the day before. So leading up to that launch, it was a lot of hype. So the stock price, I think it went from like 30 or 31 all the way up to 34 at some point, in anticipation of this launch. What we knew was the tricky part was the launch was going to happen after the market closed on Friday. So depending on how that launch went, the stock was either going to go up on Monday or probably drop on Monday. And I think yesterday they did the launch and it wasn't a failure, but it also wasn't successful. They were trying to get to space, they didn't make it, but it wasn't like the Tesla launch from earlier in the week that like exploded. So with that, it's going to be interesting to see what the stock does on Monday. But I got a call on this past Monday, probably around 31, and I got 2 calls. And the strategy I did was let me try to maximize some profit up front. I sold one of those calls before Friday, and then I held on to the second one to see what would happen over the weekend. So it is working out so far, but we got to see how everyone reacts to that test not making it to space.
Yeah, just following up on what G said, pretty much the same thing. I feel like we played it very similarly. However, I think G was a little more successful on Friday because, like Malcolm was saying earlier, man, setting alerts is so crucial. And so I bought 2 calls on Space and playing that news, just like we anticipated on Friday, that thing shot up. And I think G was able to walk away with 50%. I walked away with about 10% profit, but it was just based off of me not setting that alert at the different increments Space was hitting. So just like G, I have a space called waiting, and I'm thinking I'm just depending on what Monday looks like, what that pre-market is looking like, and what the beginning of Monday looks like. See if I'm gonna hold it or sell it, and then see if there's a good point to get back in there. I do think that they will be successful in the future, but just like G said, the news, man, it causes a lot of momentum and movement. But that's the beauty of options. We can make money on the movement going up or going down. So I'm gonna continue to watch Space. I hold Space stocks, and I'm trading Space options. So we'll see. I'm gonna stick with the research. Next week we're gonna see what Space did and be able to talk about it again.
Dev, I think it's a good talking point there, because I imagine like the option I have remaining, I think it expires in like April. So there's a lot of time there for even if there's a sell-off for it to go back up. But you mentioned something that's interesting, and because I imagine your call has a lot of time too. So can you talk about how you determine if you should sell, even though you have that time, versus holding and watching what the stock does?
Got you, man. That's a good point. So I bought a short-term call, and then I bought
Mhm.
a call that was expiring pretty much at the end of the this fiscal year, at the end of December. And that first call, I was going to sell at the end of Friday before the launch, just like you did, which we did do. And the second call is about two more weeks on it, and I had planned on kind of letting it ride out, letting that hype of the space, the launch, get to its peak, see if it bypassed its max, and then I was going to sell that, and then put that some of those profits back into my actual long holding of space. And so it's almost like I'm trading it 3 ways. You know what I'm talking about? Like that as I accumulate space stock, I don't have to catch it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to try to find the option because I've been accumulating it long term over time. And so it's really that April call, similar to what you have, is like my long holdings that I'm a cure. But at the end of this year, I honestly don't know, man. And that's the beauty of still learning, dog. Like trying to figure out Monday how people act if they're just in a crashing state. I'm gonna go ahead and let it go, and then I'm gonna try to re-enter on this. I'm not. Can I share my screen real quick, Mal? Would that be an easy thing? Yeah, I got you. And boom. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom into this. All right, so I'm on the week. As I get a little more mature in the game, I start spanning out like weeks and daily charts. But this right here was in the beginning of the year, and December 19. This is boom, January 20. So in the very beginning of the year, make this large jump on news and the fact that they was making this. Went back down, went to this trend line, played around. This resistance right here caused a comeback, but again, hit that trend line, playing it. It closed at this little resistance, but then last week, it made all of this movement. This was the week that just passed. And so we're going to see what happens at this resistance line at around 28. So I don't know, man. I'm going to pay attention to this 28, 29 mark right here. And if it goes below here, I'm going to be paying attention where it stops. If it stops on this trend line, that's telling me a couple of things. One, people still in it. People still believing in it. Two, it's still a slight uptrend. And three, it's still time for me to benefit for whenever that space launch does happen. Because when it does happen, it's going to be monumental to like travel period. Like we got a spaceport. And that sounds like what? But it's literally an airport for going into space, like on some Star Trek, Star Wars type of stuff. So, and people paying $250,000 for a ticket. You know what I'm saying? So it has some validity in the future. Elon Musk in the same game for a reason, So I'm going to continue to watch space throughout the year. So every week I'm going to be updating on space and then try to add on to some different charts.
And then I want to highlight, because multiple people have told me like they want to put their money in there in the market and let it grow. But like the detail that you just like, that's all you said. Like you want to let it grow, but you know exactly what's going on. So like I know the move from here to here, here to here, here to here. So while you're trying to figure out like the magic point to where you can let it go, you're profiting off of the company's literal ups and downs throughout that process. So even if you are going to be like a super long-term trader to where you just depositing 10, 20, 30, 50, 1,000, whatever dollars per check and just letting it grow, you still have to know what's going on. Because you might put it in last week, you're not hip to the company and knowing that they had a safe flight, it wasn't a successful flight. Oh, I'm good. I know this company is long term. Then you look in there, your bread's gone. You feel me? That may not be the best move for your first move. You feel me? So I like that. I don't think you feel me? Just because you don't move it around.
I think it's also important to note that if you do this level of research and you know where the company has been and where you think it's going, if one thing goes wrong in the interim, you don't have to panic. So if they launched yesterday and it exploded and now the company is going out of business, yeah, you probably should panic. But based on Dev's research, this is going to be a long-term thing. It might go down, like you said, but it's also going to go up. So when you have that level of confidence up front because you did that research, you don't have to panic every time your account takes a little dip because that's going to happen. Your account is going to go up, your account is going to go down. But if you do that research, you should be confident as it's going up and down.
And just to talk, I think I remember why I didn't enter. So just to talk about entry points, and also this is important why you gotta learn. Like we can talk to you all we want, but if we gotta like stop to explain the language to you, it's not really gonna serve you a purpose. So I'm gonna just talk to you like you get the basics. But this stock is clear, it's trending up. You got a trend line at the bottom, trend line at the top. And these are days. Each candlestick is a day. So you're seeing from like pandemic, March 10th through today. So you see it's trending up. The highs overall are getting higher and the lows are getting higher. But on Monday, it was right here, right? Right here at this trend line. So logically, I guess I should say, it's supposed to go back down according to its history. So that's probably why I didn't get in, because this first candle is the 7th. So that was Monday, right? But when I looked at the chart, I saw it and I saw the news that they got the contract with NASA, right? But I'm not a news buyer yet. Like G and Devin to play the news. This stock has the potential to do that. I ain't there yet. So I was like, all right, well, the chart is telling me it's going to go down. But clearly, NASA, space travel, that's big news, so it'll go up. So the chart at the point told me no to see what it do. But there's always something that makes the stock break the trend. So getting some major news from NASA and having the space test launch this week was big for them, right? So this could have been an entry point in two ways. If you were just going with the chart and you were ignorant to the company status, you should have put a put because it would go back down, right? You should give it a day or two to prove it to you first, but this signals down. But it went up because of the major news of the week, So like how they say it went to a new level, like it literally went to a new level. So that's some quick thoughts on the entry points for this. And now for like an exit, if you were holding it long term, you would now want to watch this white line as the lowest price it'll go to. Like if it goes back down and break this white line pretty significantly, it's probably going to go all the way back down to here, right? Or like Devin said, we can use the Fibonacci joint, the retracement, go from the bottom to the top, right? And one of these different lines, let me change the color. No. One of these different lines would be where potentially it'll stop, right? So once again, that just comes down to knowledge because we can show you the tools, but you got to know how to use them. And if you're not trading yet, get on paper and just do the same thing, So it's very, very important to get in the mix. All right, number 2, gap. I didn't trade this either. Who traded? Just traded this? Justin G?
Me and Just. And again, it's a matter. So last week when I explained gap, my strategy or my idea was that this was a longer term play, right? Like I talked about getting an April call because I'm banking on some positive sales over the holidays and then hype from the Kanye launch in I think the beginning of Q2. So there was a key resistance at about 2180, if I remember correctly, that me and Just were looking at to see if it broke. And at some point on Tuesday or Wednesday, it did. It's that last peak.
Right here?
Nope,
Yeah.
to the left a little bit. Yeah, right there, right. So it went over 2180. It got to 2183. It looks like, and I think both me and Just went back in, or we went in. Excuse me. So you can see that ended up being the high point for the week, and it played around throughout the rest of the week. It went up, it went down, but it closed under that 2183 point the entire week. And now you can see it's under the trend line. But for now, I'm not concerned because, again, I'm playing this through April. So I watch it. If I have to cut my losses, I will cut my losses. But I still think that in the long term, I'm not in a bad position, at least not yet.
And I'll highlight this too. So for the paper traders, get this joint and see what happens, right? Because clearly over the long run, it's trending up. It's trending up, right? And as you study, you'll see, like, all right, everything is saying that this is going up. And here you'll also see, you see this gap here? This was the 24th to the 25th. So in one day, the stock fell all the way from up here down to this big red candle, right? So there's this, it's written, but I'm going to call it an unwritten rule that all gaps are going to be filled. So this stock is going up. You know that once it passed, so you see 2183. This is before G even said that. I have an alert for 2220. So after the stock proves itself, I'll get the alert. Like, all right, G highlighted that, or I saw this somewhere. All right, and and I can put the note, like G said, check for the fill of the gap at 22.20. Like KG said, you at work, you can't pay attention. You already know you did your research. You get a message, it's just like a text message. Gap floats at 22.20, and this could be like in 2 weeks. Like, all right, why I put this on there? Then you click the alert. Check your notes. You know to play it, because once it passes that, the history is telling you that the stock is going to go up from here up to just about more or less $27. So that's $6 of growth. So set the alert and write the note. And if you're not going to trade it for real, trade it on paper. So we know to enter this once it breaks the historic level where it got stuck at. Once it breaks it, it has a tendency to go up to the previous highs. So that's how we would know when to enter this one. All right.
And one thing to note about maybe why it broke the trend, just in general, and I think I said it last week too, for the past couple of weeks, retail stocks have been struggling, at least the ones I've looked at. So we talked about Home Depot. We'll get into it when we go to Walmart. Trying to think, a few others, even Dollar Tree. A lot of retail has been down because of that cyclical process. I think healthcare has been up for the past couple of weeks. So at some point, it'll be retail's turn again. And that'll probably be when this runs. And I imagine that'll be soon because we're in the holidays.
All right, so that's got McDonald's. So I know this has been me talking about this one.
Malk, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's one more thing I would like to say before we move on from Gap, but you can keep this chart on. You don't have to go back to the chart. You don't even have to go back.
Confuse people. Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, cool. So one thing I just want to remind people, similar to setting alerts, you can also go ahead and put in for the trade, ahead of time, like a limit buy or limit sell. That way, say, for example, price action hit and you get the alert, but you're just not in a position to stop what you're doing. And, get on your app or whatever need be, or you don't see the alert. I don't know. Everybody here done missed text messages, alerts they wish they would have caught or saw. You know what I'm saying? So there is the option, and I'm not so positive about Webull, but the brokerages and TD Ameritrade and Robinhood let you put a limit buy or on the price that you do want to get in. So if you're confident with your chart work, or you're very confident of your research, you're like, at this point, I want to get into a call. I've done the research, I'm leaving it alone. You set it and forget it. And then you get the alert that you got in the trade instead of the alert that, it's time for the trade. So yeah, that's just an option for those that want to do it that way.
No, that's a good point. But you're talking about buying the stock, not buying an option.
No, you can put in options. Yeah, you could do that limit buy for options.
But one thing I'm not sure, Deb, maybe you can answer. When you set that limit buy, does that reserve that cash? Like that cash is now kind of like in a
like settled, like like that unsettled or settled, like locked up. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So that's just something to note, that you're going to tie up that amount of money, which will limit you from making other plays. So I mean, it's a good strategy, but you just need to know that part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very glad you said that, because I didn't even think about that. But like, say you got a certain amount of money in your account. If you say you want it here, it's going to calculate how much money you need to get into that buy, and it's going to reserve that, and it's going to allow you to trade with the rest, but not let you divvy into the amount that you need for that purchase. Very glad you said that, G.
And if you do that for an option, you're not going to know what the numbers on the option chain are going to be at that time.
Well, no, you're setting your limit buy based on
the contract price.
Yeah, the contract cost. So let's say your contract is, let's say a $25 call right now is worth $1, and you're saying when it gets to $2, put an order in for me, because you know that, or at least I don't know how would you calculate what that premium is?
Yeah.
That's the tough part. That's the tough part.
You know what? I'm gonna do a little more research on that because from my memory serves correctly, it's like there's a exact increment. It's like all mathematics. It's never like somebody saying, I'm gonna make the premium
This
higher
price.
for this day. You know what I'm saying? It's like mathematical. It's not like it's too many stocks. It's like hundreds and thousands for it to be subjective on the premium. It's all mathematical. So I'm gonna do a little more research and see like at what prices, or is there a mathematical increment? But I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to make that acclamation until I'm solidified in my research.
But that's still a good point though. Like,
Yeah.
you get to work 10 minutes early, sit in your car. I see where this is going. If it gets to $9, I want that joint.
Right. Not even have to look back at it.
And also, this is where you gotta learn. Like Devin said, limit order. You gotta know what that is. And when you place that order, you can place it and leave it in there to the end of the day, or you can place it and leave it in there and leave it in there. You feel me? Like, I just want this order to go in today, right? Or I'm gonna leave this order in here for 2 weeks. If it hit here, I'm in. So that was a good thing to highlight there. But McDonald's, this chart looked crazy, but I've been watching it because it broke the trend. So it was trending up, and here it broke down on December 1st. But I got these dotted lines here to signify points where it got stuck previously. So the first 3 days I've been watching it, it stayed on this. That would be a support. It dropped a little bit, but it's flirting with it clearly. Then it dropped down again, and since it's got $20 to go down, more or less, I'm being patient with it. And I saw for the whole week it stayed right here. So it's telling you that it's about to go up or down because you don't know which way. And it's McDonald's, like it's going to go back up at some point. And they got the McRib. I've seen the commercial like 20 times coming back out. But that's probably going to be a big deal for their profits that come in. Or with all this pandemic stuff going, winter, and all that kind of stuff, it may start to drop. So I'm just keeping an eye on it because it can go up to more or less like what's it going to go this way? More or less like 240, which is a 33 gap up, or it can go about $20 down. So I'm just watching it to see what it do because it broke that support. But it's going to do something.
So at what point would you make a decision? Let's say if you were going to get a put, is it once it breaks that, is that 201, that alert you got set?
Yeah, I probably would do the 201. Well, or it depends. Like if it breaks down to like 205 or something, I would see what the profit margin is for 201. You feel me? And maybe play it to 201 and then see what it do. But to be clear on it, I probably will wait till it gets to about 200 and see if it goes. And then not even though I would use the moving averages for real. Like they just crossed. I would use all my indicators and see what they say. But I think around 200 is where I would really feel safe. It's not the most clear, but I know something's gonna happen with it. What you think about it?
Now it looks good. What I struggle with is when to get in, because in my head it broke that trend. If you got in there, you would have ate, but it could also go back above the trend. So it's just a matter of patience and when you feel comfortable getting in. You know what I mean? Because the information is here. It tells you what to do. It's just a matter of when you pull the trigger.
Yeah. And I just I've been being careful. It ain't treated me wrong yet. So I'm just waiting for everything to line up, but I know it's gonna do something. McDonald's.
I think you think the shopping season has anything to do with McDonald's sales going down? Because like typically when people are in stores running around, you grab some McDonald's real quick, and then you keep going like that. You think the online shopping retail has an influence on that?
Could be.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Okay.
But people still going to McDonald's. I guess it's probably just not as much, but
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can
know.
also Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever.
Yeah, McDonald's is McDonald's. McDonald's is always going to pop, like no matter what.
But
Like,
this right here is also a 52-week high. So it's probably
Got
just recovering from hitting that high.
Got you. That make if it's a 52-week high, that makes sense now. Why it's going?
Yep. And that was on October 16th.
Yep.
October 16th. Yeah, so we'll see what it do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good one to paper trade too. Like take some notes, like this, see which way it go. It's gonna go up or down, you know. So that's a good one to paper trade. OSTK. I don't know what this one is. Oh, Overstock. Who was this? Ray? Maybe.
I think Ray called this one, but I don't remember if he said
Still make
up or down.
I don't know what I got going on here. Why is this trying to? So this John since October is trending down. So what I would do, I'm gonna set an alert for like $51 and see what it do. Yeah, that was Ray, so I don't think nobody played that one, but got some alerts set for it. But it's not bad though. It's an $18 spread. So if it get to 51, it'll most likely at least go back up to 63. And like G said, it could be a W too. Like if it make it back up to 69 and then break this, it's at least going back up to 83. And that's a $14 spread. So if you catch it at 52 or so on the way back up, you got a nice little way to ride up. And that could be like Devin said, I'm gonna put the order in for when the stock is 51.50. You in there. But right now here, Overstock, NIO. That was for Just. I ain't messing with NIO. Wow. But this is a good chart. Like once again, it was trending up and then it broke. But clearly it's getting stuck at this point. So I would wait to see when it breaks out of this range. And I guess this is a W, I guess so.
Take it to the line chart. It's easier to see.
Maybe not.
It's an M.
So, yeah, I ain't messing with NIL. Real volume. Look at that, 163 million people a day.
So Reddit, I'm telling you, anything Reddit is going to be high volume, high volatility.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know what they're doing; they're just trading off rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But you can use it to your advantage if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's going to get inflated.
especially for the scalpers.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right, these are Jones I played. Well, some of us played, but all these I played. So AWK, this is the one we talked about last week that we got to put on that was going down. It did. This week was from the 7th. Yeah, so on the 7th, it was this bigger green candle at around 150. And then the other day it dropped down to 146. So it did go down, but I didn't really like it because the volume was so low. So it moved kind of slow. But it did do what we thought it was going to do. So AWK is good. I wouldn't mess with this joint no more though, because the volume is low. I mean, or that may be good if you're a beginner. Like you don't want too much volatility. You just want to slow burn it. But AWK was a good play. City played this one. Oh, and also with AWK, it was a point I was down like 35, 40%. But I trusted the chart in my research and thought the stock was going to go down. So I let it ride. And I ended up coming out like above 12%. So you got to really understand the ups and downs of the game because that could make you lose when you didn't have to lose. City was a call from last week. I don't know when I got in. I feel like maybe I got in on this red day, but just following my support and resistance with the uptrend, figured the stock was going to go up. It's a huge company, has good volume, 27 million. So that was a call from last week. That was a good call. Next one is a put, Dollar Tree, that G and I are playing. We're currently up on it. And what we saw, I don't know if G had this mini trend line, but I saw the uptrend, right? And then I was like, yo, this is like two trends in one. So I put it on a line chart to see. I see where it got stuck right here. That's why I put that line in. I was like, I know something about this path where it gets stuck. And at the bottom, there's something about this path where it's not going to go below this. So I was watching the stock and saw it flirting with this point. Now, normally that means it's going to go back up. But since it hit this top resistance and it was flirting with this other mini resistance, plus this big gap, remember, gaps got to get filled. We played it on the way down, or at least that's why I did. Why did you, G?
So looking at the chart now, when I looked at it, I noticed a couple of things. It had recently hit, might have been an all-time high at 112.51. And from there, it dropped down to a resistance point at around 109.26. Sorry, a support at 109.26, and it bounced back up. So when it bounced back up, it was either going to be forming a W or starting to form some type of M. So I watched to see what happened when it went back down to 109.30 something, or 109.21. Switch to the line chart for me. It's easier to see again. So you can see it went to 112.51. And then it dropped down to form that support at 109, which it had hit before. It bounced back up. So that's when I got my eye on it. And when it went back down to that 109, whatever you have there, I watched it to see if it was going to break down or break up. When it started to break down, like you said, I also noticed that it was a gap. That told me it's going down. It has to fill that gap at some point. It looks like it could be now. So once it broke that 109.43 or whatever you have there, that's when I jumped in anticipation of it dropping lower and filling that big gap, which is like, I don't even know the spread. It's at least $10, I think.
From 109 to it's about $15.
Right. So now back in anticipating that it drops down to fill that gap before maybe running back up. But as soon as it fills the gap, I'm out. That's enough profit for me. And I don't want to try to figure out where it's going next.
Do y'all buy them in the money each time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like if you got it, I would never not, unless you just got some, you're a lot more sophisticated and some numbers is telling you something different. But I would always, it's like buying an advantage. Like you get to start off winning, and your only room is to win. So I like that. But G, I also got this too. I don't know why. Oh, right here. We gotta make sure we pay attention around 104. You feel me?
For some type of reversal. So it's either it'll go down slow, and that's when we have to pay attention for that, or well, no, you're right. You're right. It'll go down, and that may be a good line. That's a good call.
Yeah, it's got to test it. You know what I'm saying? People got to test if they willing to keep it at that price or move up. It's got to test. People got to test. That's that sociology behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another benefit of buying in the money, because even at that point,
You already up.
we already crossed our break even, and that's just profit. So I'd be happy if it went to 104, and if it started to reverse, I can get out there.
And that's $3 down, and we already up 12% already. You know, and it ain't even really dropped for real. So Lord knows what that'll be. So once again, that's one you should paper trade. And in paper trading, like take a note, you want it to be red for now. But over the long term, it's clearly trending up. So this might be like a Devin move to where you hold it for a long time. You know? In the Citibank, they always gonna be a good company. They're gonna be one of the first companies that the government bails out if there ever is something to happen, you know. So you should be all right with that one over the long run. So that's Citi. Then we got
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree. Oh, that's Dollar Tree. I'm tripping. All right, Dollar Tree. Then we got KP played this joint. COG. What you got, Pizzle?
Yeah, so well shoot. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Make it easier. Screen share, yes. This way, let me know when y'all see the screen. All right, boom. So basically, I was just looking at COG last week. I was just kind of going through it at the time. I think when I was looking at the chart, it was around like the 6 or something. So I think it was around like the 1627 mark, if I'm not mistaken. So just looking at the lines, I'm like, yo, it's very, very volatile. It dips down, but there also seems to be some sort of support around the $17 mark. So when I was looking at the trends, just checking everything out, I'm like, yo, it's definitely kind of channeling. It's going up and down, but it always seems to go back to that $17 support line. So at the current moment, it was like 16 something. I'm like, yo, it's definitely going to get to 17. I think it was like a quick, easy, like $100 or whatever. But I saw it was going up, and then I looked at the Heineken or Heiken Ashley to kind of see where the trend was going at, and I could see that it started to trend back up. So I went ahead, I bought a call at the $16, I think a $17 call, and I sold it at the top of, I think at like $17.50 something. So it was an easy 50% markup, easy little profit, and I did that in like 3 or 4 days.
You said you looked at the what? The Heiken what?
It's called the Heiken Ashley. It's all the way here on the side. So when you look at that, basically it's like a candlestick chart, but it just tells you the trends of it. So you can see when it's going down, you can see when it's going up. So looking at this particular chart, I was waiting for it to kind of turn back up. I saw on the 9th it had it green, and then it was going back up. I'm like, yo, I might as well go ahead and cop because the trend is showing that it's going to go back up at least to that support of the 17.
Is that HA?
What you mean?
For the indicator.
Yeah, HA. Yep.
It's a line style. It's not an indicator.
Yeah, not indicator, line style. I'm tripping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you get like the line chart, the candlesticks. It should be at the end, the HA.
Yeah. All right.
But it kind of just shows you the trends for it. Like I said, it was a quick play, and it got me back 50%. And I was like, dang, man, I should have bought multiple contracts with this. But it was just kind of fun to play around with to see what exactly could happen.
How much time did you give yourself on the option? Was it like?
I think it was 2 weeks. I'm not mistaken, because I counted the chart, the sticks, and I think it was like 4. So what I did was I automatically assigned 10 days to it, and I think the option was that 2-week one.
A good one.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it was decent. Decent.
It's a good one to still follow too.
Yeah, I know, because it's definitely gonna go back up. It's going to trend back up, but as you see, I mean, it's still kind of channeling right here. It may go back down, but I'm honestly expecting it to go back up to around 20.
You paid 50% from only a 50-cent move.
Yo, exactly.
See, I ain't really been playing these joints when the spread ain't been that much. You put it in the calculator, or you just played it off the chart?
I just played it off the chart. So I put it in for the option at 17, and then I just kept watching it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take it at 20%. And then that's when I had put it in the group chat. I'm like, yo, it's going. And then it just kind of went up and went up and went up. I tried to sell it at that 68%. And then I think by that time everybody was selling them off, and I got out at the 50%. So
and if you make it 50% on a 50-cent move, we gotta keep watching this joint.
Yeah.
What is the factor that allows it to be a higher percentage rate on a smaller numerical move? Is it the delta being low, or is it which Greek is affecting?
Delta would be high. The delta would be high, but then also, I'd imagine some of the extrinsic value. So a lot of that profit was probably extrinsic, because when it's volatile, when it's moving fast, you get additional money outside of just the spread. So that's also why some people, I think, play out of the money short-term calls, because the volatility makes the price jump up. And that's definitely something we need to read more about, because it's just outside of our strategy.
Yep.
But there's different ways to get 50% on a 50-cent call. It's not just spread.
That's why sometimes we out the money.
I've been playing out of the money on the Investopedia stock simulator, just to kind of play around with it. And actually, I mean, some of them aren't too bad. Like I'm not as scared of out of the money options compared to like the in the money ones.
Especially when they got a little time to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like if you trying to get in and out, and it's kind of like a rather shorter time period, you want to get in and out, you might want to get in the money to make sure you get that profit. But like for like Pfizer, like when I got Pfizer, I got out the money at like a $1.79 before the approval rating, and now it's like $5-6 a contract.
That's it. And then just to piggyback off this too, this is oil company, so I was doing some research on this. According to the Farmer's Almanac, they're saying that this particular winter is going to be a very, very warm winter. And even online, scientists, when they looked it up, they said it's going to be very, very mild. So they're expecting the oil prices to be low, because they're not going to sell as much crude oil. That's going to produce the power to keep people's heat on. But then, you know, I just found out from you guys this morning, you guys talking about the snowstorms coming up. And like a couple of these mornings, I've been walking outside like, yo, it's kind of cold. I don't really foresee a warm winter this year. So I can honestly see this stock really going back up. And which I'm also learning too with the news. Sometimes I feel like some of the news people, they got some of these they got some skin in some of these stocks, because they hype some of these things. It's kind of weird. It's like, yo, why are y'all hyping this up?
You think they don't?
The other way.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah. It's not going to be a warm winter. It's going to be a cold winter.
They didn't hear that J. Cole mixtape. That's all it was, bro.
Hey, but I set alerts for this joint. So I got support at 15.95. So I got an alert for below 16.10.
Got you. Yep.
And I got what's the other joint? Resistance at 18.03. So just keep an eye on it.
Got you. Yeah. I see that. We touched multiple times. I mean, that's not a bad spread either.
It's not for them kind of. What's the deltas on that joint? Like if we I wouldn't play it now, but just to see.
They got I see 70, 78 cent, 0.87, 0.95.
And can y'all refresh my memory on the Greeks real quick? Just like a 30-second rundown of them real quick.
So delta is your return per dollar. So if you you invest $1,000 and your delta is 1, you'll get a return per dollar at 1. So you can make $1,000. right? If your
Okay.
delta is 0.7 out of 1,000, you can make $700, right? So it's your
And that's
potential.
price movement. If the price of the stock goes up $1, you get 70 cents.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct. And theta is, like G was just referring to, extrinsic value, the time value. So like one of these thetas, what's the theta at the top?
That time decay. I remember theta.
Exactly. So a lot of these got 0 time decay. But the most, at least on the screen now, is $3 a day. So every day your profit would go down, your potential profit will go down by $3. Right.
Those pretty much the two that we use. I remember gamma and rho, but I don't really remember what they do.
Those are the only two ones we really use. The first one was beta, which is like volatility. Like one matches the S&P, I think. And I don't remember no other one.
Gamma and rho, which we don't pay attention
Really
to.
used to. I got you. Cool,
And this is
cool.
the way I've been scanning stocks. I would just go a month out, so like January 15th, and I'm just looking at the open interest and delta and seeing, because like I look at charts and then like the options don't line up. So sometimes I look backwards. Like, all right, I see this open interest is good, it's got a good delta. This joint might have some moves. But sometimes you look and this all be blank, so I just skip that stop.
Yo, you made a good point. I was really thinking, if somebody doesn't know, if you really don't know options like that, you could honestly just go in there and look at the open interest and be like, oh, everybody going with this 2,000 people in this contract? Might as well.
Yeah.
But you got to know which way though. Because like, look at this. This got 1,000 for a call, but it got 5,500 for a put.
Yeah, right.
So, and it's in the middle phase, like it can go up or down.
Yeah.
You know, so that could be a gift or a curse for you. Like you rolling the dice. But yeah, these deltas ain't that bad.
Especially on the play, the contracts aren't that expensive either, so it's quick.
That's what I was going to say. This is one.
When I was talking to my mom, I forgot how much cheaper stocks are than options. Like I was showing her fives, I'm like, then it's showing only $41. Like I automatically went to 4,000. You know, because I'm so used to two places.
Yeah, because you're looking at one versus 100.
You can trade for $50. Like there's no reason you shouldn't be trading. I totally forgot. $40. You know,
times 100.
KP, I was going to say, this is a candidate where if you really believe the movement in your research, you can snag 10 contracts.
Yo, easy.
5 contracts, 15 contracts, because
easy.
the price is so low.
Easy. Yep. Yep. And then another great thing too is if you're new, because I'm kind of like new into like the options because I was doing it on paper, so like I'm actually playing into Weeble now. If you're kind of scared to put up your $1,800 and you ain't really that confident in yourself, just go ahead and buy a $70 contract or buy $210 3 contracts right there. See what happens. Make a little bit of money and then get that little confidence in yourself. But it's cheap enough to. I think I even put it in the group chat like, yo, it's a cheap little option. Go a little practice joint. Y'all should just cop up real quick for people who are interested.
That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get the cheaper like options. I say I don't really go into options where I got to put more than $500 down. And that's just personally me. Because like say there's like $2 stocks or $5 or $9 to $10 stocks. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark just said, you can buy multiple or G just said you could buy multiple contracts of those. And that price movement moving 50 cents is all you wanted anyway. You know what I'm saying? And so you can buy those multiple contracts and need be, if you really like the stock before it ends, you can exercise it. And then boom, you own how many 100 times the contracts you have now, and you could get that quick profit, or you can say you exercise, say 3 or 4 of them contracts, and then you profit off of 3 or 4 of them, get your profit, that percentage you wanted, and now you own something that, like if it's something you really believe in, you know what I'm saying? Like Neo, Tesla was what, $30 in the beginning of the year, $40, $50. Can you imagine them dudes that you know what I'm saying, set a contract for the year, look back at $600, bruh, they might exercise that contract, sell half, and have half to sit on. So yeah, it's definitely you don't have to get these big contracts, especially if you're starting out.
Right. And like what Dev just said pissed me off. Like we all missed it because we ain't know. Like I had a Tesla stock in like March, April, probably like April or May. Sold it as soon as it went up. You feel me?
Yeah.
Sold it as soon as it went up because I ain't know. Like I saw green, like I ain't lose, but you feel me? I lost so much potential to come down the road. You know that I could have just ate off of that one alone. Something interesting. I was fortunate enough yesterday through my cousin. She invited me to this Zoom call, and there was this dude. He's a multi-millionaire, like multi-millionaire. And he said that he got his own cryptocurrency now, and every day at 7, he has a conference call with all of these people involved with his cryptocurrency. It's 600 people. Guess how many he said is black?
Man, one? I'm gonna say at least like 50.
600. 3. Only 3 of them is black. That's crazy, yo. Now I know it's all different cryptocurrencies, but 3, but also the owner is black too, so that's dope. But only 3 out of 600. Like we really gotta get informed, man. We have to get informed.
And that was specifically with his company, with his crypto.
With his crypto, yeah.
Yeah, man. I got a good friend. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all remember him, Kevin Tarr.
From Willenboro?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know, maybe. But he grew up with me in Hawthorne. He's still close friends with me. But he's a computer engineer, software engineer. He makes his own apps and codes, and he got me into coding. And he's working on his own cryptocurrency as well. It's like I wanted to talk a little bit later today on crypto, just so I'm like the crypto spokesperson of the group. So yeah, whenever we get time to chart, I'm gonna chart some crypto, just expanding our horizons.
All right. So let's knock these out. We got Walmart. Who is this? G, you wanted Walmart?
Yeah, let me okay,
Share your screen. You on mute.
I was saying just go to the line chart. I'll walk you through what I saw. So if you go into that high point at 152.79, and our charts look similar, not exactly the same, but similar. I have my my support set a little bit lower, right around 148.99. So it's at the bottom of right there. So I was watching Walmart. Hold on. Sorry, 149.05. 149.05. Right there. Yeah. So I was watching that, and once it broke, I'm kind of trying to play this 2 ways. As it dropped and it broke that support, I got a put in the money put, and it went from about 149 down to 148. So it wasn't a big profit, but it was something, maybe like 10% or something like that. I sold that, and now I'm watching for. I just personally think that Walmart is going to reverse. 2 reasons: holiday season, and then the second reason is this week they announced that they're going to be doing something with the COVID vaccine. I think either storing it, selling it out their stores, or shipping it. Something with COVID. So anticipating that Pfizer got approved, which it did. I think this is going to turn back up. So now I'm just waiting for it to give me an indication of it going back positive. But this is a situation where yeah, you could definitely make money down and then catch it on the way up too.
It looks good. It looks like a little doji candle right there too for that last. Yeah, that's a good sign for reversal or not knowing what. And it looks like a monumental point, a little like that one. What is that? That 146-ish level. I see that point, and then around November 10th, it was the top of those two green candles, the top of those two green, and then going back a couple more days, you know what I'm saying? It's a region, yeah, in that little region. So I think it's at a good point, you know what I'm saying? A good point for reversal for both those significant lines, and the trend line is right there. And that doji candle plus the good news. When those factors start to add up, like you like, damn, like Malcolm used to be like, yeah, like a certain amount of factors. I think I might have to consider playing that call right there at this time period.
So yeah, this is like I said,
Yeah.
Caught the momentum on the way down, but now I think it's going to turn back up. And then you figure, let's say it already really kind of hit the trend line. So right now it's at 147. It can run to 156. Damn near.
The all-time high.
Okay, so even if it goes back to 153, what's that? $6 spread from where it is right now.
I wouldn't play it until it breaks this though.
Which is what, 149? So you still get a $4 spread. And again, with all the good news, it could go through that all-time high.
Man, I don't know. I agree with not wanting to play it until 149, but it being at the bottom of this trend line is very I feel like that's a better entry than the entry at 149. You know what I'm saying? And if it dips below that trend line, then that is an indication that you might want to get out. But it's a less of a, you know, that stop loss or that region you want to calculate for the loss. It's a smaller amount that you can calculate to get out. But yeah, I think I might have to roll with a call. I'm gonna put this in my notes real quick.
Yeah, it's potential for more profit, but it's risky.
Mhm.
It's risky. You feel me? Because like say you get in here 146 more. Well, no, it's not even there now. It's at more or less 147. You see, it can drop out, and like you might just wind it there. Like clearly, I believe it's gonna go up. How long you want your break tied up? How much you want potential to lose? So, and it's just been treating me good. It come off of there, it goes to 153. That's still a $4 spread, and it's Walmart. It's gonna go past 153.
Yeah. I first of all, I just want to say, us going back and forth, I think, is the best way to learn. And so, you know, so don't find this combative. All right. So I think one thing that we haven't talked about too often is calculating the amount of risk you're willing to lose and calculating the amount that you want to gain. We kind of talk a lot about like where we want to take profit, but we don't really talk about where we would find the need to exit and take our losses. And I think I know in the Forex game, you can literally deplete your account if you don't set a stop loss. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but like it's a little different. Like it literally takes money out of your account as it goes down. You can deplete your account by accidentally not setting a stop loss. And so like there's like a little tool that I use similar to the Fibonacci that allows me to calculate the percentage of the risk or the percentage of what I'm willing to lose. And it then compares it to the percentage of what I want to gain. And if it's a lopsided, you know what I'm saying, you got way more risk than what you want to gain, I don't find that to be a good trade. But if it's more gain or more potential to gain and it's a smaller risk, then those are the trades I like to get into.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like for what y'all talking for, I guess, well, what Devin talking about, you saying like if you, I know we up here, but right here, you saying if we get in here, we get to get in from this green doji right here, right, and ride it all the way up. I'm
I'm
saying
not sure.
I'm gonna wait.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm saying I'm gonna wait for the proof of this green
Mhm.
doji, and I'm gonna get in here on this second one, right? So that's a couple $1 difference. You would have lost, but from y'all perspective, you would go up 139. That would be about $14. From my perspective, it would be about $11. You know,
Gotcha.
so $3 difference is more money, but depends on your approach.
It's
Let's
definitely
say
wise. It's
quick.
very wise of you, Malcolm, to use price action
Mhm.
as a factor.
Mhm.
That's what it's about. Walmart.
Good
Uh,
discussion. Good discussion.
KG said API. API. This is a new John. Um, I never looked at this one before, and the volume is too low. I wouldn't trade it. But let's see what it look like. After this week, if it don't got a million, at least I can't do it.
Yeah. I just asked to look to that because I was looking at some of the news, and that was one of the top like earners. Obviously, it's a newer company or whatever, but that's why I just wanted to see what, because it was one of the top earners and movers this week in the news. So that's why I was kind of just
All
looking
right.
at that.
They had no. That was a while ago. All right. Let's see what happened this week. All right. So clearly it's trending up. So this week was from the 7th API. Ain't no news on this, John. November 25th. Mm-hmm.
What are you looking into right now? Trying to find out?
API. I'm trying to figure out why it had this jump this week.
Yeah, why it had such a big jump. I was looking at all the news and the top earners, and that one was like one of the biggest earners. And we're trying to figure out like why, because it's not, it doesn't have that many people in it. I'm just interested why the heck it made that leap.
Gee, I think you had mentioned there'd be them dudes in that boardroom that ain't break the news yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
they already know
we
what's
can.
going on, but they ain't tell the world yet.
You know, you can check to see what people in the company traded the stock.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
What?
go to.
What?
They gotta submit a form when they make any big, not even big. I think when they make any transaction, at least in most cases, I don't know if it's every company, but I assume it
It's
is that it's a
That's
form.
completely new news to me. Like I never heard of that in my life. I'm writing it down as we
Like
speak.
one thing with
You go to.
Dollar Tree, just real quick, Mark, my bad. With Dollar Tree, I was getting a put, and then I saw someone say that the CEO or the CFO owned 0 shares of the company. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm in. I'm in for this put because how, as one of the highest ranking officials in the company, do you not own any shares of your own company. And maybe it's a good explanation, but that headline alone was enough for me to say, okay, in the short term, this is going down.
And not just you, but probably millions of people.
Yeah, my man be popping up everywhere, y'all. He be
Everywhere.
but look, Dev, you go to NASDAQ.
All right.
Ticker,
NASDAQ, type ticker.
and on the left, third from the bottom, it says insider activity. So this one says no data, but it will tell you who traded what in the company.
Yeah, I think this is one of the Johns that they got something going inside that we don't know yet, because there's literally no news on this John. Like, this has to be one of the ones that somebody ain't breaking up. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird.
Hey, Mel, didn't the dude say on the Minority Report on the YouTube, didn't he say when, remember that video you posted and he was talking about the stock market and how it's about to crash pretty soon?
Oh,
He
yeah.
said a good indicator is if the people are actually buying, the owners of the company are buying back into the stock. Isn't that an indicator that it's either going to crash or burn soon?
I think they said they do buybacks when they got extra money, and they weren't doing it recently because everything was going so bad. So buybacks should be next year, I think he was saying.
Buyback. And I couldn't think of the names. Devin, it's called a buyback if you wanted to look it up.
I'm typing that right now, bro. All this is new knowledge. I also, before we leave today, I wanted to discuss like if y'all wanted to, or I was thinking based off of a possible crash, how many, or from this past year, how people became millionaires off of just happen to have puts on the Dow Jones or the SPY or the NASDAQ or whatever, just having a put that was months or even a year ahead of time. And I'm really considering just setting aside some bread and just putting it into puts in those indexes. And if I lose it, I lose it. Like if the market excels, then for my holdings, I'm going to excel and from placing calls and things. But if the market crashes again, I don't want to try to hurry up and get in a put and see the puts have increased by 2,000% before I could even make the trade. I just want to have some money to the side, and I wanted to discuss that with y'all. What do y'all think about like maybe for a year put, or try to find some 6 month or year puts and maybe putting something to the side? I that's what I'm going to do, and I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I don't think you got to do that now though. Like, look at this. I noticed too. It's a big trend. Like, I don't even know which one, but like we'll just look. A lot of stocks about to drop. Like, that's what it looked like. If I click through.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're close to, or recently have been at an all-time high for
like
stock markets.
That's time to put it in, ain't it?
A lot of stocks look like this. On a steep run and like they're curling off at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have seen like a good 50 of them in different industries.
So why wouldn't we put it in now, Mal?
Well, I mean, because now we literally checking this every day. We know how to read the indicators. It's not going to drop in a day, like in terms of a crash. It's not going to crash in a day. It's not going to crash in a week. It's not going to crash in a month. If we're talking about an entire market crash, like look, this is another one. Like we'll be able to see it coming. Like even if we miss the first day, if it's a crash, like when we looked at that Rona crash, bro, as long as you got in the first 3 weeks, you was cooking. You feel me?
Bro, that's why I don't want to miss it, dog. Like, bro, we would be millionaires if we knew this knowledge before that, dog.
Me and Dev think alike. And Dev, I would say, if you had the money to do it,
like just a stack,
just
like 500, and just put it there. And just, a bottle in the club, a bottle in the club, fam. A bottle in the club. Put a bottle in the club.
Yeah. It's neither answer is wrong. It's just a mentality, and I think you're right. Like it has to go down at some point. Do you want to be the first person in line, or you want to be the 15th person in line? It'll cost you a little more to be first.
It's
Like
going to
you
be
said, bro.
millionaires that put $1 million on the options, and it's going to cause the options to drop drastically. The businesses are going to do it, the institutions, and you're just going to.
Like G said, it depends on how much bread you got.
Yeah, it's a
I don't
risk.
got no bread to just be letting rest right now when I could be working that joint and I know I'm paying attention. So if some big market thing happen, I'm gonna just cash out, put it in there. I'm not. I think you're right about that as well.
I love the mixture of our opinions, man. It's my favorite part about our discussions because you can always get different perspectives, and then you go back and decide how you want to approach it.
But see, look at these Jones. Went up, curling back down. Went up, curling back down. Went up, curling back down.
I feel like personally, I feel like putting it in on all-time highs is exactly where to put inputs.
Yeah, that's I think that's right too. Like all these Jones went up, going back down. Down.
And that's a big gap. Go back to that. What are these right here? These are indexes?
These are financial companies. It's
Okay.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's Warren Buffett.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these.
Excuse me.
All right, what else we got? What's up, Ray? You froze?
What up, Ray?
I think you froze. Oh, no, you know.
You know what's funny though? We welcome. Oh, what's up,
What's
Ray?
going on, fellas? I was just texting you.
It was good. Kel said you
Yeah,
can let
everybody
him in
was just
too.
texting you to let me in.
Yeah, we hear you, right?
Yeah, we hear you, young.
What's good, Mo?
Yo, what
What's
up?
good?
What up, Kel?
What else we got? API.
Check out Exxon Mobil. They got some good news.
Sorry,
last 2
I'm
weeks.
late to the dance. I was actually in. Decided, you know.
I don't know what you just said, bro. You was going in and out.
Hey, Matt, we doing picks of the week yet, or is that later on?
I think this is the last one that we said to talk about. Then we can look for this week.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to make sure.
Cool.
All
What's
right.
this right here?
This is Exxon. They discovered a new spot to dig oil, I believe, in like Suriname or Suriname. So if you want to look up the news, and that was 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, and that joint been kind of running ever since. It's one of the top holders in the XLE ETF.
They got a lot of, what are these? Calls, puts. So all of these option alerts are coming that people think that the stock is going down.
I can't see what you're seeing on my screen.
Yeah, well, this is saying somebody bought calls near the bid. That's a bearish sign. Puts near the bid. That's a bullish sign. Puts at the ask. That's a bearish sign. So there's a lot of options on this joint right now.
Hold on, fam. You're telling me that you can choose where you want to put or put a put, or I should use a different word, place a put or place a call in the bid or the ask value? You don't have to choose ask if you're buying a call.
No, I never buy the ask.
You can always do the middle in between.
You can play around with the mid. The mid is always going to fill, bro. And even if the mid doesn't fill, you can go up $5 and it's going to fill.
Wow.
Shit, sometimes you can just do the bid and it might fill, but the mid will always fill.
Let me write that down.
I've been playing the mid and it fills.
Wow.
And when you sell, don't sell at the ask. Just go a little bit below the ask if you want to get it off quick.
Right.
If you don't mind waiting, then you go for the ask, but always the mid and then go out from there, either up or down.
I'm putting this in all caps in my notes, man.
And the bid is displayed on the option, right? Or you do your own self-calculation?
In Webull, it'll show you bid price, ask price, and mid price. not automatically just go to the mid, and I might, depending on how I want to do it, I might increase it a little bit.
So this
Yeah,
what Cal,
yeah, I see it in there.
this what Cal's talking about. Sir, Diana. So they just making their foothold in South America stronger.
Word. What's this, Benzinga?
Yeah. It's gonna
Alright.
be clutch, bro. It tell you everything that's going on.
I got the app, but I don't pay for it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's
No.
expensive. If
We can look
it's
at
expensive
Overstock.
if you don't use it. Yeah, it's expensive if you don't use it. Yeah,
Nah, Ray, we done pass over stock. Nah, I'm just playing, bro. We was waiting on you, V.
yeah, we can go back to it. We checked it real quick. Did you play?
Nah, I didn't play.
No. But for this joint, I would see what it do at 45. If it break through, you can go up. If it don't, you can go back down to 32.
Price action. You're a price action player, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I just go by the numbers, bro.
Word. So let me see how you do that. Price above below 45.
Yeah, so I got. Come on.
Doesn't mean-
So off of this mini resistance, I set an alert if it go above it, so I can see what it do. I don't really need this alert no more.
All right, so I'm gonna set the same thing you got set on your computer. Huh?
So I got a price above 45.15.
54.80.
And then I got one below 33. And you don't gotta look at it no more.
From alerts is clutch. Too clutch. It's like writing stuff down in an agenda and not having to keep it in your brain.
Exactly. The key is to have a system. It's like, and if you've been looking at stocks for years, like you just kind of look for fun and just play off your alerts. Here you go.
Man.
This overstock, right? What you got? You got it right?
45.
You heard it right?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, I said I got it dropping until that last support, and then I got it coming back up. But I don't know the days. I'm trying to. That's my whole thing.
You say you don't know the
I've always
days?
messed up on the days.
Days for what you trying to do?
So I'm trying to catch it when it hits the support, and then just predict it's coming back up because I feel like it's the first wing of a M. So it's gonna come down, hit the support, and then go back up. But I'm just trying to predict the days.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see whether it's going. That 51 support is crucial though, because it could go down to the bottom of that trend line, or if it can go up to that trend line, or even up to that resistance at 63. It's hard to see.
So if I feel like even if it hits the support, so even if it hits the support line, back it has like a little gap. So I feel like it'll fill back up at least towards. I guess I'm saying this wrong. So it's gonna go down, hit the support, and then you see that gap that's back towards. Let me see what date is that.
This right here.
Use
Back
numbers.
towards the 9th. Yeah, so even if it hits the support at 51, it'll fill back up to at least 60 once it hits that support line. I want to, I guess, kind of predict the days out and then ride it up.
So you thinking about putting a limit buy, or I mean, putting a buy call in at 51?
Yeah. Hold on, let me make sure I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I'm following you.
Put a call in at 51. But like, say it comes out to like maybe the 29th, then I think it'll happen. But I don't know.
You said the 29th?
I got you.
Yeah.
What about?
I guess it's more
like
so
the 29th
price
and
So what I would do is the
go ahead,
Fibonacci
Devin.
that Dad showed us, and I would go back to the last time it made that run, and it tell you that was 19 days, 12 bars. So it took more or less 3 weeks. So I'm looking at least 6 weeks for the option. You feel me? That's how
Hold
I
on.
play it.
Right there.
I feel like it's
6
still in
weeks for the option.
downtrend, but I feel you, Ray, on trying to hit that top of that trend, that trend line that's going down for like a quick profit. I would just want to see what happens at that 51. So like, you know what I'm saying? If it bounces, yeah, I could see it going back to that trend line.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Like you gotta look at the yellow line and the white lines. Like it may just bypass this yellow drum and go down to the white one.
Right. And that's what I'm like, I don't
It's
know.
downtrending. So you might not want to make a call on that downtrending stock until it proves that it's out. Like even if it like you could eat from 51 to 63, but it might go right back down if it's following the diagonal trend instead of the horizontal.
Personally, I think this is a good stock to follow, but I would, like Mark kind of just said, see what it does at 51, and then I would make my play maybe. So if it goes up to that trend line, I would then make a put to see like it go back down to the support of 51 or the trend line. So if it stop at 51, I could take profit, and if it continues to go past 51, I could take profit. Yeah, let it keep going down. But for me personally, I would like to watch it and like just see how it acts at 51 and see what it does.
All right.
All right.
You said you didn't get into it. You what was your thought?
Just watching it.
Yeah, same here.
Like I said, I thought it was going to hit that support and then come back up, and then maybe if it, I don't know, just depending on what it did when it hit that trend line going down. So if that top trend line, so if it hits the top trend line, but it doesn't reverse and it keeps going all the way up, then it could hit that dotted line, I guess that other, what is that? Another resistance line right there. And it can keep going up to there. So you still got a couple dollars to play with there.
Yeah, that's
so if it doesn't reverse at that trend line, you know what I'm saying? Then you got a definite forming, you know what I'm saying, M, because it comes all the way down to the support. It goes all the way up. It breaks that trend line going down. It hits that dotted line of resistance. Then it's definitely forming, you know what I'm saying, a M. And if it doesn't reverse and it goes off,
that's a W, bro.
you know what I'm saying?
That's a W.
W, my bad.
Yeah, W. And you see, that's where I got my alert at. I ain't even worried about this joint unless it passed this one or that one. Otherwise,
I guess it already did the M.
No, Where do you see M at?
Switch it to the line chart.
I
It's way
see
easier to
the M
see.
on November 12th. I mean November like not that one, but doesn't it look like it already did an M?
I'm seeing
If you were to go back, if you were to go, you see that the largest volume of down, the largest red volume at around November. Look at the largest volume bar at November.
right
Nope.
here.
Yeah, you see, all right, so starting there, it went up, down, up, down. That's an M, man.
It's a W, and then they can form an N.
Okay.
I think it's a W going down, but then it could.
My bad, Ray. Go ahead.
I'm seeing a W, bro. Like now, this one big candle kind of throwing it off because of earnings, but it's going down. It went down, boom, like this, halfway up, back down. Then now to complete the W.
Okay.
This big red candle is throwing it off. You feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
Dev, I think you're looking at W in a smaller time period than they are.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you're looking at a big W, you're looking at a little M, and I think the question is, technically, you could play both. You're just looking in a couple of days. They're looking over the course of a couple of weeks. And your
Gotcha.
M is living inside of their W.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, this joint is a little sloppy because of that earnings.
But this joint still make me sick, bruh. Whew.
What?
That 22 to 122. Damn.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
In a matter of 2 months, somebody became a millionaire.
All right,
If
so
not,
what's your pick of the week, Pizzle?
So man, 1 second there, brother man.
I can't wait till we hit the right one to become millionaires.
So let's see. I'm looking at VLO.
VLO?
VL
B or B?
V as in victory.
VLO.
VLO. Valero.
V as in victory, L as in Lopez, O as in
Victor Lopez Oscar.
yeah.
Vamonos.
So if you zoom in, right? If you zoom in really close, starting on about November 9th, it seems to have a full trend where it just continues to gap up, and it's in this little channel right now, and it looks very, very promising to me to kind of continue up. I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. Right now, I think there is some.
This is a gas station, right?
Yeah, Valero Energy. Is it gas?
Yeah, they got gas stations.
Okay,
Yeah, they do have.
I know the same one. Yep.
Because it looked like Exxon a little bit.
Yeah. It's all
It looked prime time for
It's all oil.
Oh,
Yep. Even when you chart it, I mean, it's kind of major in that channel. It already did its third revolution. It seems like it's either going to start on a fourth revolution.
But this not a channel though, Pizzle.
It's an uptrend.
Well, not necessarily. Well, I was just I channeled that one little piece.
what's the difference between a channel and a trend?
It's an uptrend in channel.
Channel
A trend
sideways.
is up or down. A channel is sideways. So the revolution concept only applies to a sideways stock
Gotcha.
Okay, when it's consolidating.
until it breaks the trend.
Gotcha. You should learn that. It's definitely not the 52 high. And I just see a lot of potential to grow. And I was just looking at some of the options for it. And I see there's like a December 31st one, either like a 55 strike or the 56 strike. So
Why is it growing? Why such sharp growth?
what was it? Look at that. Some of Morgan Stanley. I looked at the news, it says Morgan Stanley upgrades FANG, which is another one I was looking at. It says Valero and sustained rally for all oil stocks. So it seems like oil is going up. I had to do a little more research into it, but that one, it caught my eye a lot.
No. Man.
Oil's a winner stock.
Woo, if we had puts in oil,
Yes.
oh my Lord. The oil indexes, dog.
And see, like, look, Dad, this was from February 20th all the way to March 23rd. So like you would have seen, like let's go to the candles.
Just a 1 month put, bro.
Like look
Or
at this.
2
Like,
months.
even if you saw like, all right, this junk going down, we got all the news. You could have waited these 3 days. You feel me? You waited 3 days. Could have wrote it down from 66 to 30.
Yeah.
You know? So like
Nah,
you could have
man.
been way up here and wrote this out money in early, yeah. But imagine what you could have did with that bread doing some other stuff. And then have it ready to get more at this time and ride this out and then ride it all the way back up. You feel me?
Hindsight 2020 like a mug.
It is. And Pizzo, I also see some kind of, you see how it's floating on this resistance right here?
Yeah. Well, let me put your screen on full screen too.
Yo, that gap is crazy though.
The graph, that's why I keep looking. I'm like, yo, it keeps gapping up. It keeps gapping or gaps down, gaps up. Or it's at least very volatile throughout the day.
Yeah, so once it break this, it need to break 60 for real. Well, no, 61.
60. I got 61.27. Or you gotta see if it breaks below that trend line. If it breaks that trend,
Yep.
it might be going down. So you just gotta. It looks good, but I think you just gotta wait to see which way it's going right now.
And see how it
Right
goes.
now.
Yeah,
I agree. If it breaks that 60, yeah.
Yeah, I would think to across 60.
I'm gonna set an alert either way and have it on there just to watch it.
What's this? VLO?
Via Valero, yellow.
Valero.
Anything else?
Alert for 60.
Yeah, I put 60-25.
60-25.
Anybody got anything else?
Once per day.
Go to KO.
So what?
KO is the ticker for Coca-Cola.
We talking about the past plays or we talking about new plays now?
New plays.
Play in weeks.
All right, so switch to the line chart, yeah, and zoom in for me. So this is just me purely looking at W patterns. So it's a small spread, but this goes back to that conversation with KP about which one was it, KP, that was cheaper, but you still made like COG. So same concept here where clearly this is a W, and tomorrow morning this is either going to go past that middle point of the W, or I guess technically it could be an M if it breaks back down. So I'm literally watching to see which way it goes tomorrow morning, and if it goes past this middle point of the W, I think it's going up to like at least, what's that, 53 something?
Right here? That's 54 basically.
Okay, so and right now it's at 53.35. So if I get an in the money call, and watch it run up, maybe it goes to 54, maybe it goes up to that trend line. But I'm just looking at this W and thinking that it could break up.
Is it at the high right now for the year, the 52 week?
The high for the year is 60.
Right.
Potential.
Because look at the last W. It broke it barely and went right back down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. And it's a couple other W's I looked at, and it's some M's. So this could, if it turns back down, technically it could be an M. So it's just something to watch. But that point that it's at right now, I think is very pivotal. And depending on which way it moves, you could get a call on that.
I like it.
That's a small spread though.
It is a very small spread, but it's also a cheap call. So it goes back to picking up maybe 2 or 3 contracts and eating that way as opposed to just one.
Mhm. All right.
And if it runs to 60, that's good money.
See, I got my alert at 51. That's my alert at. Yes, based off of this.
Gee, I've been utilizing that Think or Swim a lot more, bro. It's super powerful. It's one of the more powerful tools I've ever used.
That's what everyone says. So I think at some point it'll be transitioning from Weeble to Think or Swim. But I like
Nah, you
Weeble.
have the transition, bro. You just like it's free. You just open up an account and you have that tool.
Oh, without you saying without having your money in the because Think or Swim is a brokerage, right?
Yeah, of TD Ameritrade.
Okay, but I don't have to
Yes.
have money. I don't have to have money in TD Ameritrade to use Think or Swim.
I'm not familiar with that, but it's like it's not like an additional cost in any way. I just if you got TD Ameritrade, you have access to that program.
Okay.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. But Weeble looks really good though. I like Weeble
Weeble is cool.
What else y'all got?
for the new league.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm sticking to Pfizer, but I would like to talk about Bitcoin so we can.
So what I can you want to share your screen or you want me to take it?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta-
you can.
I gotta
I'm
play
gonna
for
share
the
my
league.
screen.
You gonna share it?
Yeah, yeah, I'll share my screen.
All right.
And I got one more after y'all done, just real quick.
All right.
I got 1 too at the KP.
All right, y'all.
All right,
I got a hard
All right, bro.
dip at a
all
All
right.
right. Yes, sir.
All right, so can y'all see my screen?
Not yet.
There you go.
Good.
Yeah, your screen be looking crazy.
All right. So, all right. So, I mean, there's a couple things I can eliminate to make it look cleaner. All right. So let me just start right here.
Like nothing, no.
All right. Cool. So, to give people insight, man, this was the 2017 run from April to December. It grew $18,000 in value in about 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months. Then it started trading a triangle. This is the weekly chart. And like I said in the group thread, man, triangles can trade from minute to weekly to month. It's just the patterns of money. And so it's been doing this for a while now. And just like we talked about, it broke that triangle. And so this is where we are right now, this time period. Now we're testing this again, this resistance. And when Bitcoin is testing resistance and doing this, those thousands of cryptocurrencies that I've been talking about are also in this all together. And so the software engineer I was talking to you about, me, between us two, man, we got like 250 different cryptocurrencies type of ordeal. And as this plays out, man, the difference between this time period and this time period is the exposure of Bitcoin. In this time period, you know who's in it right now? Cash App, PayPal, institutions, banks. I'm not sure about Webull, but on TD, like Robinhood, I can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of that right now. And yeah, so think about the, Mark Cuban, he accepts Bitcoin for Mavericks games. Spotify, Shopify, Amazon, all of these people, and like MicroStrategy buying 250 mil, all these institutions, taxes, all of these things are now like implementing themselves, intertwining and entangling themselves in this industry. And I say this all to say, this region right here, this little area, is probably the most fundamental time period in the history of crypto. Crypto is only 10 years old, fam. Ethereum's only 5 years old. A lot of the cryptocurrencies I'm in are only months, years old. You know what I'm saying? XRP is dealing with banks for trillions of dollars. And so I really find it very significant this time period. If I could put in a little this right here is going to really be monumental. This right here broke the triangle, boom, bow, it's testing this resistance. If it goes past this resistance of 20K, bro, I don't foresee it coming back below 20K. And that once that 20K is solidified, all of the institutions, banks, and all of that, I think they're gonna start funneling into it. And I bring this up because I've been doing options. And if you still see my screen, this is options for Bitcoin. Now, what I've been doing is playing the option game, doing a little something. And most recently, I'm going into December of 2021. I'm looking at the 25 area. The way Bitcoin options operate is they option on a 0.01 Bitcoin. So 1% of Bitcoin is a contract instead of like one contract is 100 stocks. One contract is 0.01. So say, for example, I'm clicking the bid. You know what I'm saying? One contract right here is 0.01. If I want 10, it's 0.1. And just like buys in the option game in stocks, the only thing you can lose is that premium. You know what I'm saying? The things you can gain is limitless. So say you put 620 down or 660, blase. Say you get 330. By December 21st or December of next year, if this price where that 20K is no longer even a thought, and bruh, I'm gonna let y'all do y'all research, but look at the financial experts' estimates of Bitcoin at the end of 2021. And use your favorite people, use your favorite research, find out what they're saying. And then when you realize, damn, I could really play options with Bitcoin and play it down, play it up. I highly suggest not limiting your option playing to stocks. I really suggest playing options as well in cryptocurrency because these billionaires are. And that's it for Devin Farmer's cryptocurrency for today.
Currency corner. Which platform was that?
This is called Ledger X, and Ledger X might sound familiar because they're the most they're the biggest seller of the like USB flashes that can store cryptocurrency. They're the biggest seller of that, and so that's Ledger X, and that's how I trade options in Bitcoin. And yeah, I got about 4 different brokerages where I purchase, trade, and sell and buy cryptocurrency. And yeah, bro, Malk, you saw them percentages, man. Like my boy put in $300 in one, and in a matter of one day, he made $10,000. Yeah, it's just wow. Excuse my language for our young listeners, but those numbers make me express different. You make $1 million, you're gonna be cussing too. You heard? Nah, but it's really young, man. We're in our infancy.
Yeah, it's coming through time. But just for me, like that's just information overload. Like I'm gonna get there. But we said we got 2 more, right? Ray and Pizzle.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this. I'm gonna do mine real quick. I meant to do this one as well. And I mean, of course, you guys probably chart it a little differently. Let me know when you guys see it. Cool. So I'm looking at progressive. I know before we were talking about this a few weeks ago, and we were talking about like the insurance. I was originally when I first started Investopedia, I got a call in it for some, or put in it for some dumb reason. And I was like, yo, I'm really losing a lot of money. I'm almost about to be like Ray on that little Investopedia and just reset it. But looking at this particular chart and charting it out, it looks like there's a lot of different things, right? So right here on the first line, I see the second level of support around like the $88. And then I see the first level around 91. But then when you look at the supports at the top, I see there's a second level support around 96. And then there's the first one around 94. Looking in the trend of it right now, it looks like it goes up and down. So I'm kind of basing it, I'm kind of hoping based upon what I see right here, that it's going to drop down at least to that 91, if not the 88. So it'll be a good option to get, or a good put option to get based on that. And then, like I said, just looking at the other indicators and the other line, it looks like something may occur, but who knows? Who knows? That was just one that I kind of happened to notice over the week, and I wanted to kind of throw that one out there as well. And as you can see from the pattern, up, 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 it's on the up, and it's probably going to go back down. So,
Well, I think it's got to touch 96 or 97 first before it go back down.
well, yeah,
607.
but when it does, I can see it. You think 96? I'm thinking 94 because I don't even see it going up past that much.
Well, man, you got a million lines.
I know I'm about to take it off.
You see the MACD?
Yeah, so look at them. The two previous high points right there, the last two. Yeah, so that one right there, that's about 97.
97.
Right? And the next one right next to it is 96 to the right. Yeah. I did that on the other side of that big peak too.
97 and 96.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to at least get to that 96, 97 mark? I can see it.
Before it turned around. But
Yeah.
But two times though, it did turn around at 94.
Right.
I see those too. So you just gotta be. It can be anywhere from 94 to 97, but you don't want to copy that 94 and then it run to 97.
Yeah, right. And then I go to the L. So I see what you're saying. Get it at 97, create that bigger gap, and at least I'll know it'll go down to around 91, potentially 88.
Yeah.
Or at least you gotta wait for it to turn.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what we're saying, because it might turn to 94 or 97, but I wouldn't get in now because it ain't turned yet.
Right. Maybe hopefully by Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have a better idea to see where it's at. 16th around there. Yeah. So that's my second pick of the week, or the one that I'm eyeballing.
Well, I'm setting alerts for that, John. I'm gonna set an alert at above
97.
97.50. 97. Like I let the joint go all the way up. Like if it ain't all the way up, all the way down, I don't do it.
You just let it play out.
Yeah, like you might miss some money, but like it's a lot more comforting for me to make. I know this isn't real, but to make the sure play. Like I know it's 3 supports here.
Yep.
I'm letting it get to number 3.
Yep.
If not, I'm willing to miss that play because I missed it.
To get something more secured. I got you.
Exactly, and that's been treating me right.
Mm-hmm.
I set an alert at 97.50 for above, and then I got one for. I'm gonna set it for below 88.50.
Share your screen if you're looking at something out.
Quick call out. Earnings are 12.18. I don't know if y'all said that, but that's just an extra little. The earnings for Progressive is 12.18.
Oh, then there can be somebody need
something.
what does it do before the earnings? Well, the last earnings it hit and it dropped, but the earnings before that it came out and it went up.
Yeah, earnings it dropped big time last time. You said
Yeah.
before that it went up.
I mean, it did the same thing January too, January 28th, or around then. It might.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just.
It might.
I would watch it.
And the 52-week high is 102. So I'm interested to see what happens with the earnings. I'll just keep watching it and see what happens with the earnings too.
You said you was interested in a put on this?
Yeah, I was looking to get a put. At least when it hits at 97
Yeah.
or around then, and then it'll at least stop at like a 91, 88.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ooh, that one
even
day
if-
candle where it dropped.
But once again, Pizzle, you got to let it prove it. Because even at 97, it might go up to 101.
Well, yeah, right.
So, like, this is in the middle of a big, I guess, like, up revolution of the channel for real.
Yeah.
It looked like a head and shoulders.
Yeah, head, shoulders right here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to set this alert too. Well, no, I don't.
Well, you'll get the notification on 97.
Yeah. So I would really hope. Ideally, I would like to catch this joint down here. I hope to hit 88.
Yeah.
And boom, head up. 88 to 101. We'll see.
Let's see.
They got a lot of potential in different directions.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's kind of hard to call.
Yo, Kels, man.
But one thing I was reading too, my bad, Devin. One thing I was reading too, I was
Go
like
ahead.
going up so high, and they were saying that it was an article. I think they were saying like a lot of people with the coronavirus, a lot of people were realizing that they didn't have insurance and life insurance, and a lot of people were dying. People started like, "Yo, I need to go get some life insurance." So that's why you're seeing the high spikes ever since the coronavirus occurred. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think about it like that. Especially, but you got the vaccine coming out, you got other little factors. I know the economy doesn't really weigh too heavy on the stock market, but it will have some type of influence on it, I would think.
Definitely. Makes me think of what other things will be affected with the vaccine coming out, like movie theaters or something like that.
Boeing. I'm thinking about Boeing because they got, we'll talk offline. I thought
Airlines.
about they're doing priority flights with UPS, FedEx, all this stuff for the vaccine. And they start tomorrow. That's not about to stop anytime soon. So you're gonna need more planes. You're gonna need more equipment to get the things out. I haven't looked at the Boeing yet, but I'm interested to see what it looks like.
What you got, Ray? I bet you this joint costs $10,000. Watch.
Everything. It's called Duke Energy.
I've been watching that joint too. It's just like this last.
So they got. I know y'all don't mess with the weak joints, but they got some that look the option that looks okay for a week. Expiring on the 18th. Strike at 87, break even at 97, 91.
Yeah,
They got some news coming out about
go ahead.
open interest looks okay. Delta, I think, is in the 80s.
So 91.
Theta looks okay.
All right, the 18. So that's 1 week to go to 92.
It's already at 91
Yeah.
something. So you got 56 of like a move type
What
joint.
makes you think a week?
It's trending.
What makes
You say what? That's the only thing. It's because of, I don't know. I think the hype from the news of that little, I don't know. They got a lawsuit or something coming up. If you click their little news joint.
it's a little cold?
Unless I was reading it wrong. I could have definitely read this wrong, but
It's a good company.
I think they're supposed to be getting some bread back. But even if you don't take the option for the week out, even if you do the January 15th, the delta is still good. It's in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why I haven't played this is because of this right here. Like, it got stuck in this channel, well, this little mini channel, for a whole month. You feel me? It got stuck here
Yeah.
for 32 days. So that's why I got these mini supports and resistances. It's like if it break 94, I may play it, but then it got another one right at 95. So it's kind of stuck in this area. But I do think it can go up to 98. It's like when. You feel me?
That's my whole thing. I'm always bad with the time.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't do this for no week. Hell no.
And though, but if it can go up, because if you look at if you look at the day, if you look at the day joint, the day candles, right? It has the potential to go to 92 within the day. It breaks like you said that 91.75, you're already in the money. You know what I'm saying? You can make, I guess, was off a 50-cent move. I don't know how much that would be, but 50, 75-cent move, you might can make some money.
To 91.75, that's a 20-cent move. And then I just wouldn't want it to get stuck. Like it got stuck here for a month. You know? But this time it went up in 4 days. But you gotta take the average of the two. So that's like 34 divided by 2, 17 days.
Well, can you put the moving day average for 5 days? See what it was? You do that right quick.
Um, yeah, but I wouldn't do this for a sideways stop. But it just broke the 20. So maybe it's going back down. So it might go down to 86. I don't know. It will have to break this sideways movement. You feel me?
Where you get 86 from? Oh, that point all the way back in August?
From September.
Yes. September.
Yeah. From the bottom of this candle.
Okay. That's the gap. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. This
Is it good news or bad news?
I don't know. It looked like bad news. Like it looked like it's slight. Like when I read that, it's a Fortune 200. It said one of the best companies in the country to work for. They had a couple of awards on there. So they just completed a solar project in Hawaii. They're giving out money to help people pay their bills. They're researching. Yeah, so it seems like it's a good company. 52-week highs, 103. I don't know. I just have to watch this joint. It's got to get out this little channel. And then above that is another one. You see, like it's this low level channel right here. Then it's this middle channel right here. Then it's this third channel. It's like 4 little channels making up a big channel. So, like it take a while.
What I'm looking at though is that line is such a strong line that has been tested so many times. It's clearly like if it goes below, it's definitely going to move because it's been tested so many times. But if it goes up, it's definitely going to move because it's like they don't like that line.
Yeah.
So the play is to watch what happens at that line because I think it's going back down to that line before it does anything else. So it's either going to break below that line, and if it breaks below that line, then I think you got a potential put opportunity because it's going to work towards that gap. But if it bounces off that line, then you got to see how high it's going to go.
Yeah. So I got the alert for below 90.75. I'm gonna take this one off. I don't want this one. And I guess I'll put another one for above 97.50. All right. Anybody else got any more?
No more Gucci.
All right. I say just keep scanning. Keep scanning. You'll find something. Any closing things y'all want to do in closing? Questions, comments, concerns?
Nah, man, good meeting. Good
Another
meeting.
good week. Yeah.
I'm learning to scan. I'm learning how to scan using Thinkorswim. I'm not I wasn't like that scalping strategy I've been working on. I'm still very focused on it. By next week, I foresee being able to display and like teach the group how to use it. But yeah, it's a powerful tool, man.
All right.
And the last thing I'll leave y'all with is 25% or higher. That's it.
Profit.
Man, I wish I utilized that on Friday.
Yeah, man. Get that 25, man. Go ahead, cash on out, bro.
Get back in.
Yes, yeah.
No. All right, fellas.
All right.
Peace out.
Great. All right.